Please like this video. I really need your support right now. It's the only way this story can reach more people. Thank you so much for being here with me and for your support. Lauren killed the conversation with one thumb. I walked into our near North Side penthouse a little after 7, jacket still on, phone still buzzing with warehouse updates. The city was doing its usual thing outside the glass, sirens far away, traffic like a slow river, but inside it was quiet. Lauren was on the sofa with her legs tucked under her, phone angled toward her chest like it was a secret she was breastfeeding. Hey, I called. Keys in the bowl, the same way I had for years. She looked up for half a second. Hi. I moved into the kitchen, loosened my tie, checked the coffee machine out of habit even though it was nighttime. Routine is not romance, but it is respect. It is showing up the same way every day. I leaned against the counter. How was your day? Her screen went black instantly. Not a casual lock. A reflex. Like she had been burned before. Fine, she answered. One word. No details. No eye contact. She used to ask me back. Always. How did it go? Did the meeting drain you? Did you eat? It was her little ritual. It wasn't even about love. It was about acknowledgement. Tonight, she just stared at me like I had interrupted a program. I let the silence hang for a beat. Fine as in fine. Or fine as in I do not want to talk. Lauren shrugged without looking up. I am tired, Daniel. Okay. I nodded once, like she had given me a shipment status. I will eat. She stood up, phone in hand, and walked toward the bedroom. That was the moment. Not a scream. Not a confession. Just a switch flipping inside her and the room going colder. If I had known where it was headed, I would have slept at the office that night and saved myself the trouble of pretending. I made myself dinner, ate alone at the island, and listened to the sound of her shower upstairs like it belonged to someone renting my life by the hour. 3 years ago, I introduced her to Grant Hollis at a corporate dinner. Grant was younger, sharp suit, hungry eyes. He was the kind of guy who listened like he was calculating interest. I had opened doors for him, mentored him, recommended him to people who take my calls because I built a pharma distribution company from nothing, and I keep it compliant, clean, and profitable. I even co-signed a credit line when he wanted to expand, because I believed in building long structures, family plus business, steady plus growth. I thought I was bringing a partner into my world. Turns out I had brought a thief of atmospheres into my house. That night, I cleaned my plate, loaded the dishwasher, and did not go upstairs looking for warmth. I went upstairs to sleep. There is a difference. And in the dark, I made a simple note to myself. This is not an accident. This is a pattern. The next morning, I was up at 4:45 like always. Gym, shower, black coffee, review reports. People like to joke about control. In my business, control keeps medication stable and lawsuits away. Control keeps hundreds of people employed. Control keeps mistakes from turning into headlines. Lauren came into the kitchen in a robe, hair still damp, phone already in her hand. Morning, I greeted. MHM. She poured water, stared at the screen, and didn't even pretend to be present. I glanced at the calendar on my tablet. You are working late again? She didn't look up. Client dinner. You had one Tuesday. Different clients. Where? Downtown. Her tone had that new edge. The one that made questions sound like accusations. I sipped coffee. What time will you be back? Lauren finally looked up, eyes flat. I do not know. These things take as long as they take. Okay, I replied. Then I am not waiting up. Her mouth twitched, almost a smile, like she thought she had caught me trying to compete. No one asked you to. Good, I said, because I am not applying for the job. She rolled her eyes. Daniel, you are being dramatic. I set my mug down carefully. I am being scheduled. Lauren walked closer, voice light like she was the reasonable one. I have work. You have work. This is what adults do. Adults communicate, I returned. Adults do not shut down their phone like a teenager hiding a report card. Her eyes narrowed. Are you accusing me of something? I held her stare. I am observing you. She scoffed. God, you are exhausting. I nodded once. Then conserve your energy. Eat before you go. You are not coming home at midnight and waking me up. Lauren's lips parted like she wanted to push harder, but she switched tactics. Actually, I need you to sign something. There it is, I said, and I could not help the small laugh that came out. Not because it was funny, because it was predictable. She blinked. What? You stopped asking about my day. You stopped looking at me. You started disappearing, but you still want my signature. Lauren's cheeks tightened. It is just paperwork. Leave it on the counter, I told her. I will review it when I have time. It is boring, she pressed. It is just a beneficiary update. A notary thing. It saves time. I lifted an eyebrow. If it saves time, it can wait until I read it. Lauren's voice sharpened. Daniel, you sign things every day. For my company, I corrected. Not for surprises at my breakfast bar. She stared like she was deciding whether to keep playing nice. Fine, she snapped. I will leave it. And Lauren, I added, calm. You do not get to call me exhausting while living in my penthouse and spending my attention like it is automatic. She laughed once dry. You really think money is a personality? I smiled. No, I think respect is. Money just keeps the lights on while people pretend. She walked away, phone already back in her hand. That day, I changed one rule without announcing it. I stopped trying to touch her mood. I stopped chasing the temperature of the room. I stayed on my track. At 7 p.m., I ate. At 9:30, I went to bed. When she came in at 12:17, I did not roll over to ask. I did not sniff for answers. I did not perform concern like a dog waiting for a pat. She stood in the doorway, keys clinking, and waited for me to react. I did not. In the morning, she hovered near my coffee again. Lauren, you are really just going to ignore me now? Me? I am going to sleep now. Lauren, you are punishing me. Me? I am protecting my routine. Lauren, same thing. Me? Only if you think access to me is a right. Her jaw tightened. You are acting like I did something wrong. I nodded slightly. You are acting like you are not married. She opened her mouth, then shut it. The air between us was not a fight. It was a measurement. Right before I left, she dropped the next piece like it was nothing. Lauren, I am going to Washington, D.C. this weekend. 2-day summit. Me? Okay. Lauren, I will be busy. Do not start your little investigations. Me? I do not do little anything. Lauren, whatever. Just be flexible. I grabbed my briefcase. Flexibility is not my hobby. She watched me go with that same expression I see on new hires when they realize I am not the boss you charm. On Friday, she left with a carry-on and a crisp bye that did not reach her eyes. No kiss. Just a tap on my arm like I was furniture. She came back Sunday night like she had gone to the grocery store. Quick peck. Shoes off. Straight upstairs. Lauren, I am wiped. Me. Welcome home. Lauren, thanks. She disappeared into the bedroom, and I stood there in the hallway for a second, holding the jacket she tossed over the chair. I am the kind of man who puts things away. I like order. It is not a control issue. It is a respect issue. For myself. For my space. For the people who live in it, when they act like they live in it. I hung her jacket in the closet. Something inside the pocket caught my fingers. Paper. I pulled it out. A hotel receipt. 2 nights. Full rate. Not a conference block. Not a discounted event code. Just money spent like someone wanted comfort and privacy. I stared at it for a long moment, then folded it and slid it back into the pocket exactly where it had been. No confrontation. No storming upstairs. No explain this. That receipt was not an invitation to argue. It was a switch. The next morning, our elevator doors opened on the lobby and Lauren's assistant, Kendra, was there, juggling a tote bag and a laptop sleeve. Kendra is young, sharp, and always anxious like she is waiting to be blamed for someone else's choices. Kendra. Oh, hi, Mr. Harper. Me. Morning, Kendra. Lauren stepped forward too fast. We are late. Kendra nodded, then blurted like she could not stop herself. The DC thing got weird, though. They moved it, right? Or canceled the main sessions. Lauren's head snapped toward her. We can talk later. Kendra's eyes flicked to me, apologetic. Sorry. I just meant, never mind. The elevator doors closed, and Lauren didn't look at me the whole ride up. I didn't need more. I already had the receipt in my mind like a barcode. That week, Lauren forgot to log out of a cloud account on an old tablet we used to keep on the kitchen counter for recipes and music. She had linked it, then got busy with her new secret life and left the door open. I did not hack anything. I did not break into a system. I simply walked through an open door in my own home. I copied calendar entries. I screenshot travel confirmations. I matched expenses to locations. I checked the geolocation history that people forget exists. And a name kept appearing, like a stain that doesn't wash out. Grant Hollis. The dates overlapped. The client dinners lined up with his flights. The late meetings matched his hotel bookings. It wasn't one coincidence. It was a repeating grid. I created a folder on my encrypted drive and named it Contingency. Not because I was being dramatic, because I run a business. I do not gamble with unknown variables. Then I called my CFO, Dana Wells, and asked her to come to my office after hours. Dana is in her late 40s, steel spine, no patience for nonsense. She has been with me since we were renting warehouse space with leaky ceilings. She walked in, took one look at my face, and closed the door. Dana, this is personal or financial? Me, both. Dana pulled out her tablet. Okay, talk. Me, I want a risk map. Everything tied to Grant Hollis. Credit exposure, vendor obligations, anything he touched under our umbrella. Dana didn't blink. You suspect he is sloppy or dishonest? Me, I suspect he is ambitious without boundaries. Dana nodded once. That is corporate for dangerous. Me, do it quietly. Dana, I always do. I leaned back. And Dana, if anything looks like it can land on my doorstep, I want to know before it rings the bell. She studied me. Is Lauren involved? I didn't answer directly. I didn't have to. Dana's mouth tightened. Understood. That night, Lauren came home at 11:48, smelling like expensive lobby air and confidence. She stopped in the kitchen and saw me reading on the couch. Lauren, you are still up? Me, I live here. Lauren, funny. Me, I thought so. She stepped closer, eyes flicking to the tablet in my hands. You are working. Me, I am reading. Lauren, same thing for you. Me, different thing now. She frowned. What is that supposed to mean? I looked up. It means I am not competing for your attention. Her posture shifted. Defensive. No one is asking you to. I nodded. Perfect. Then we agree. She stood there, waiting for me to soften, and when I didn't, her tone changed. Lauren, look. I have been stressed. The DC trip was chaotic. I did not mean to be short. There it was. The first illusion. Light apology, gentle voice, like she was a reasonable woman dealing with an overbearing man. Me. Okay. Lauren blinked. Okay. Me. Yes. Okay. Lauren, you are not going to say anything else. Me. If you are stressed, handle it. If you are distant, I will adjust. That is all. She stared, confused that my ego wasn't begging to be fed. The next morning, she made eggs. Not because she suddenly became domestic again, because she felt the distance and wanted to measure if she could pull me back. Lauren, I made breakfast. Me, I see that. Lauren, how was your day yesterday? I almost laughed. Almost. The timing was too clean. Me, productive. Lauren sat across from me, smile tight. You have been cold. Me, no. I have been calm. Lauren, same thing. Me, only if you need drama to feel alive. Her smile faded. You are impossible. I stood up. Rinsed my plate. I am consistent. On Tuesday, a thick envelope arrived, forwarded from a lender. Pre-approval. Mortgage. Savannah, Georgia. Borrower. A trust under Lauren's maiden name. Co-borrower. Grant Hollis. Property. A house they clearly planned to call ours without me. I didn't throw it. I didn't crumple it. I slid it into contingency like it was an invoice. Then I drove to our main distribution center for an operations review, because work does not pause for personal disrespect. Grant was already there, walking the floor like he owned the place. He wore that eager grin, the one that says he thinks proximity equals power. Our operations manager, Luis Ortega, stood nearby with a clipboard, quiet, observant, the kind of guy who notices everything and says only what matters. Grant spotted me and came over fast. Grant, Daniel, glad you made it. Me, it is my facility. Grant chuckled like we were buddies. Right. I just meant, busy schedule. Luis nodded to me. Morning, boss. Me, morning, Luis. Grant gestured toward a group of supervisors. I was telling them about the new expansion timeline. I looked at him. You were telling them? Grant's grin twitched. We talked about it last quarter. Me, we talked about options. You do not present timelines until I sign off. Grant lifted his hands. Of course, I was just motivating the team. Luis's eyes flicked between us. He stayed silent, but his face said, this is getting interesting. Dana walked up, holding a folder. She gave me a look that said she had news. Me, conference room. 5 minutes. Grant followed like he had earned a seat. In the room, I didn't waste time. Me, Grant, I need updated financial disclosures. Personal and business. Grant blinked. Why? Me. Because I asked. Grant's voice tightened. That is not normally required. Dana opened the folder. It is when your obligations start appearing in places they do not belong. Grant shot her a glare. Excuse me. Dana didn't flinch. You have undisclosed debt, multiple accounts, payment delays, and you never mentioned any of it when Daniel guaranteed your credit line. Grant's face went pale for a half second. Then he tried to recover with a laugh. Grant, come on. Everyone leverages. It is normal. Me, not under my name. Grant leaned forward. This is an overreaction. Me, no. I answered calm. This is correction. He tried the friendly angle again. Daniel, you know me. You brought me in. Me. I brought you in because you looked hungry. I did not bring you in to eat off my table and ask for seconds. Luis made a small sound in the corner, like a cough that was actually a laugh. He turned it into a sip of water. Grant's jaw tightened. What is this really about? I slid the Savannah pre-approval letter across the table. Grant's eyes dropped to it, then lifted back up too slowly. Me. Explain your name. Grant swallowed. It is not what you think. Dana tilted her head. Then tell us what it is. Grant's voice got quiet. Lauren asked me to. Look, it was just planning. Nothing final. Me. Planning a house. In another state. With my wife. Under her maiden trust. Grant spread his hands. She said you were on board. I smiled, but there was no humor in it. Did she? Grant's phone buzzed. He checked it, then tried to tuck it away too fast. Me, Grant. Grant, what? Me. Put the phone down. He hesitated. Luis shifted his weight. Dana's eyes hardened. Grant placed the phone on the table like it weighed more than it should. Me. You are done representing my company externally until I say otherwise. Grant's face flushed. You cannot do that. We have agreements. Me. We have permission. Permission is not permanent. Dana added, casual. We will also be reviewing the guarantee terms with the lender today. Grant's head snapped to her. You cannot just change that. Dana, watch us. Grant turned to me, voice rising. Daniel, this is insane. You are letting personal stuff mess with business. I leaned back. No, Grant. I am preventing personal mess from poisoning business. He stared at me, breathing fast, then tried one last move. Grant, if you do this, you will look petty. Me? I do not care how I look to a man who signs papers with my wife behind my back. Silence landed heavy. Then the door opened, and Lauren walked in like she owned the building. Perfect timing. Of course. She smiled at everyone. Oh, good. Meeting. Luis nodded politely and stepped aside. Dana's face went flat. Lauren walked behind my chair, leaned down, and kissed the side of my head. Too sweet, too public, like a performance for the room. Lauren, you are always in control. It is kind of adorable. One of the younger managers gave an awkward laugh. I turned slightly, looked up at her. Control is why your lifestyle exists. Her smile froze for a millisecond. Lauren, wow. Touchy. Me, no. Accurate. She straightened, eyes narrowing. Can we talk? Me. Not here. Lauren. Yes, here. You are embarrassing me. I stood up, calm. You do not come into my facility and set the agenda. Not anymore. Her lips parted. Excuse me. Dana closed her folder. Lauren, this is not the place. Lauren's gaze snapped to Dana. Stay out of my marriage. Dana, stay out of our credit exposure. Luis coughed again, definitely a laugh this time. Lauren glared at him. What is funny? Luis lifted his hands. Nothing, ma'am. Just allergies. Lauren turned back to me, voice sharp. You are really doing this. Me? I am doing what I should have done earlier. Lauren, which is? Me. Separating what is mine from what you think you can quietly reassign. Her face tightened. You are paranoid. I smiled. No, I am prepared. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. We will talk tonight. Dinner. No excuses. Me. Bring your pen, she added, like that was a threat. I met her eyes. Bring your documents. I bring my standards. She walked out with her chin high, like she had won something. Grant sat there looking like someone had pulled the floor out from under him. Dana leaned toward me. You want me to pull his access today? Me? Yes. Luis nodded. Security will follow your lead. Me? Good. Grant whispered. Daniel, please. I cut him off, calm. Do not please me. Handle your mess. I left that room and felt something settle in me. Not anger. Certainty. That night, Lauren chose a restaurant downtown, the kind with low lighting and soft chairs that make people feel important. We met with a couple from our building, Marcus and Janelle, neighbors who always acted like they were auditioning for a magazine spread. Marcus is a loud talker, always half-joking, always watching for weakness. Janelle is quiet, but sharp, the type who hears what people avoid saying. Lauren arrived wearing confidence like jewelry. She slid into the booth beside me, hand on my thigh, smile bright. Second illusion, bigger than the first. Overcompensation. Lauren, you look good tonight. Me, I look the same. Lauren laughed. No, you do not. You look lighter. Marcus grinned. Maybe he finally stopped running the world for 5 minutes. Me, the world keeps calling. I just decide which calls get answered. Lauren squeezed my leg. See, that is what I love about you. Janelle's eyes flicked to Lauren's hand, then to my face. She didn't comment. She just watched. We ordered. Lauren played the role of partner again, telling stories, touching my arm, acting like last week never happened. Then, right after the appetizers, she slid a folder across the table. Lauren, so, quick thing. I didn't open it. No. She blinked, smile still on. Know what? Me? No surprises at dinner. Marcus raised his eyebrows. Oh, business meeting at date night. Lauren laughed too loudly. It is not business. It is just paperwork. Me? That is the same sentence you used at breakfast. Lauren's smile tightened. Daniel. Janelle finally spoke, soft. What kind of paperwork? Lauren shot her a look. Home stuff. Marcus leaned back, amused. Home stuff is always code for someone is about to lose money. Lauren glared. You are so funny. Me? He is not wrong. Lauren's face hardened. Open it. I opened the folder slowly. Right there, while Marcus watched like it was a sport. It was a trust document. Her maiden name. Asset language. Transfer language. Not final, but moving. Lauren, it just streamlines things. Tax planning. Everyone does it. Me? Everyone does it with a conversation. Lauren, we are having it now. Me? We are having it in a booth while you flirted 5 minutes ago like you were selling me back to myself. Marcus whistled under his breath. Janelle's eyes widened slightly. Lauren leaned in, voice low. Stop making this weird. Me? Stop making it hidden. Lauren, sign it. Me, no. Lauren's smile vanished. Daniel, do you trust me? I leaned back. Trust is not a question you ask when you have already been moving pieces. Lauren's nostrils flared. You are being controlling. Me? I am being careful. That is why I am still standing. Marcus smirked. This is better than streaming shows. Lauren snapped. Marcus, shut up. Marcus raised his hands. Hey, I am just here for the bread. Lauren turned back to me, eyes cold now. You are going to regret this. Me, no. I am going to remember it. Janelle spoke again, quiet but firm. Lauren, if it is harmless, why the rush? Lauren's jaw clenched. Because he is busy and I am trying to help. Me, help yourself. She stared like she wanted to slap me with words. Lauren, you think you are untouchable. Me, no. I think I am responsible. Lauren leaned in closer, smile cruel. You are going to end up alone, you know that? I looked at her calm. Alone is better than disrespected. Silence hit the table. Marcus cleared his throat. Well, that is a line. Lauren stood abruptly. I need air. Me. Take your folder with you. She snatched it and walked away. Janelle exhaled. That was intense. Me. It was overdue. Marcus leaned forward, grin fading. So what is really going on? I didn't give him the whole map. I gave him one street. Me. Someone is trying to change the rules without telling me. Marcus nodded slowly. And you do not play games. Me, not in my house. Lauren came back smiling again, too fast. She sat down and touched my arm like she hadn't just threatened me. Lauren, okay. I am sorry. I came in hot. Me, Lauren, I just want security. Me. Then act secure. Stop acting sneaky. Her eyes flashed, then she softened again. Can we reset? Please. I looked at her hand on my arm, then at her face. You can reset your behavior. I am not resetting my standards. Marcus stared into his water like he wished he could disappear. Janelle watched Lauren like she was seeing the real woman under the makeup. Lauren forced a laugh. You and your standards. Me. They are the only reason you ever felt safe. After dinner, I paid the bill, stood up, and didn't wait for Lauren to fix the mood. I walked out. Marcus and Janelle followed, awkward. In the lobby of our building, Miguel the concierge nodded at me. Miguel is polite, professional, and has seen everything without ever acting like he has. Miguel, good evening, Mr. Harper. Me, evening, Miguel. Quick update. If Lauren travels, her building access needs my confirmation before reactivation. Miguel blinked once. Understood. Would you like to update guest permissions as well? Me, yes. Limit to my list. Miguel nodded. Done. Lauren walked in behind me and heard enough to freeze. Lauren, are you serious? Me, yes. Lauren's face twisted. You are treating me like a stranger. I looked at her calmly. You started that. She stared like she wanted to scream, but she kept it quiet in public. She always knew when witnesses mattered. Lauren, fine. Whatever. I am going to Kauai next week anyway. Me? For what? Lauren smiled, too casual. A wedding trip. Client thing. Grant is going too. There it was. The provocation, served like dessert. Me, have fun. Lauren blinked. That is it. Me, that is it. She stepped closer, voice low. You are going to miss me. I nodded slightly. I will miss the version of you that used to live here. Her smile flickered. Then she turned and walked toward the elevators like she was already practicing a new life. 2 days later, Dana called me. Dana, Grant is scrambling. The lender is asking questions. He is calling everyone. Me, let him. Dana. Also, I found a notary request. Private. Lauren scheduled it twice. Me. Of course she did. Dana hesitated. Daniel, you want me to document everything? Me. Already done. Dana exhaled. I hate this for you. Me. Do not hate it. Respect the lesson. Lauren left for Kauai with a suitcase and a smile that didn't belong in our home. She didn't ask if I wanted to join. She didn't pretend. It was clean separation without paperwork, like she thought the world would just adjust. I stayed in Chicago. Worked. Slept. Ate. Ran my company. Built my normal like a wall. On the 3rd day of her trip, my phone buzzed during a late meeting with Luis and our compliance director. I looked down and saw Lauren's name. A photo message. I didn't open it right away. I finished the meeting. Signed off on a temperature control upgrade. Gave Luis approval to hire 2 more supervisors. Normal business. Then I sat alone in my office and opened the message. Lauren, in a light dress. Grant beside her in a linen suit. Ocean behind them. Flowers around their necks. Smiles like they had just won something they didn't earn. Text underneath. Just got married. I hope you can finally accept how small you are. Do not make this messy. I stared at it for a long moment. Then I typed one word. Okay. That was all she got from me. No drama. No paragraphs. No begging. No rage. I set the phone down and opened my laptop. First call, the bank. Freeze joint accounts. Not punishments. Protection. My money does not fund disrespect. Second call, my corporate controller. Remove Lauren from any reimbursement pipelines. End spousal access to company travel accounts. Clean lines. Third call, building security. Update the biometric entries. Remove hers. New codes. New authorizations. Fourth call, Miguel. Miguel answered with the same calm voice. Front desk, this is Miguel. Me. Miguel, it is Daniel. Effective immediately, Lauren is not authorized to enter my residence without my confirmation. Miguel paused half a beat. Understood, Mr. Harper. Me. If she shows up, offer to contact me. Do not debate her. Miguel, of course. Fifth call, my attorney. I didn't narrate my feelings. I gave facts. Receipt. Calendar overlaps. Trust documents. Mortgage pre-approval. Photo. My attorney didn't gasp. He didn't moralize. He just asked, do you want separation documents drafted today? Me, yes. Then I called Dana. Dana answered immediately. I saw the photo. Me, then you know. Dana's voice hardened. Grant is done. Me, yes. Remove him from everything. Access, contracts, introductions. All of it. Dana, we will need to notify partners. Me, do it clean. Facts only. Dana exhaled. He is going to call you. Me, he can call the ocean. Grant called 10 minutes later. Of course he did. I answered because I like closing doors properly. Grant. Daniel, listen. Me, no. Grant. It was complicated. Me. It was planned. Grant. Lauren said you were checked out. Me. Lauren says a lot of things when she wants something signed. Grant's breathing got fast. You are going to destroy my life. I smiled slightly. You built your life on my signature. That is not a foundation. That is a loan. Grant, come on, man. We can work this out. Me, work with your new spouse. That is the arrangement you chose. He started to talk again, and I ended the call. Lauren started calling right after that. Back to back. Then messages. Then voice notes. I didn't listen. I didn't need to. I already knew the script. When she finally texted, it was pure outrage. What did you do? My cards are declining. I replied with one line. Talk to your husband. That was when the real panic hit. Not emotional panic. Financial panic. The kind that shows you what the plan actually was. 2 days later, she landed back in Chicago. Miguel called me. Miguel, Mr. Harper, Lauren is in the lobby. Me. Okay. Miguel, she is not calm. Me. Offer her a chair and water. Tell her I will not be coming down. Miguel. Understood. Lauren called again. I answered once, because I wanted the final line to be spoken, not imagined. Lauren, you think this is funny? Me, no. Lauren, you locked me out of my home. Me, you moved out before you left Chicago. Lauren, I am your wife. Me, you updated that title on a beach. Lauren's breathing was sharp. You cannot do this. Me, I already did. Lauren, Daniel, you are making a mistake. Me, no. I am correcting one. Lauren's voice went thin, desperate. We can talk. We can figure out a deal. I laughed once quiet. You do not get to marry my partner and then negotiate my resources like I am a vending machine. Lauren, you are being cruel. Me, I am being clear. She tried to pivot, softer. Please, just let me upstairs. I need my things. Me, Miguel will coordinate a time when you can collect essentials with staff present. Not today. Lauren snapped back. You are doing this to humiliate me. Me, you humiliated yourself in a photo. I am just refusing to finance it. She went silent for a second, then hissed. You are going to regret this. I paused, then gave her the final sentence, the one that closes the story and the door. Lauren, you made a new life. Finance it. And I hung up. Months passed. Paperwork moved. Accounts separated. Business stabilized. Grant's hidden obligations surfaced the moment my umbrella disappeared. Turns out a lot of confidence is just borrowed shelter. I did not stalk their downfall. I didn't need updates like candy. I stayed in my lane. My mornings went back to clean. 4:45 gym. Coffee. Reports. I bought a new place a few blocks away, still near North Side, still high up, but it felt different because it was mine in a way the old one never was. Luis got promoted. Dana got a bigger team and a raise she deserved years ago. My company kept growing because I stopped letting personal chaos leak into operations. And I started dating again, quietly. A woman named Nora I met through a charity board, smart, direct, no games, the kind of person who looks you in the eye when you speak. The first time she came over, she didn't comment on the view. She asked where I wanted to sit and actually listened. That was refreshing in a way I didn't know I had been missing. As for Lauren, I heard what I needed to hear through unavoidable channels. Grant's grand plans in Savannah stalled once lenders started asking adult questions. The beach marriage didn't come with beach money. The trust she tried to set up didn't magically fill itself. She bounced between temporary rentals and explanations, trying to keep the same lifestyle on a new budget. She stopped calling after the third time she realized I would not bend. That is the part people misunderstand about men like me. We are not immune to pain. We just do not build homes inside it. Respect costs nothing. Disrespect gets billed immediately.